Hi, this is Wendy. This is my second painting in the series I'm doing right now, where I'm painting daily. And this is part 2, which actually will conclude this painting. And I don't, sometimes, the paintings will be, I'll paint one painting, could be one session, or we'll just see where it goes. Right now I'm working on a series of paintings that come from a dream I had a few years back, when we just found out, we got my husband's cancer diagnosis, which was pretty dire. And that was a little over 3 years ago now. But and he passed away this past Easter. And so I'm trying to cope. I'm trying to deal with his loss, and I want to make beautiful things from the sadness and the grief, because I'm grieving because we did share so much, and I want to capture it. I want to be able to express it, and so I'm just getting it down in my own way. So it's my own personal art therapy. So the first painting I did was us running down this pier. And this one, actually, in the dream that I had, happened right before that. And it's us walking on the boardwalk. And all these things we did in real life when we were first dating, and in the dream we were young. It's about 30 years ago, 28 years ago. And they were all very similar, except in the dream it was much more surreal, sort of vivid, and it was just, everything was just more. And or I was just soaking it in more. But I guess I was soaking it all in then too, because everything seemed a little bit magical. And it still does. So I'm just trying to hold on to that magic. But we're walking here on the boardwalk, and just sort of keeping to ourselves, staying out of the chaos. Enjoying the human parade as we go by. But my husband and I, when we were first together, particularly, and we didn't have kids, and life rears its interesting challenges. But we used to walk every night after work, and for hours we'd just walk around town and talk, and usually smoking cigarettes, drinking beers, hanging out, and having a good time. But we had sort of a whirlwind relationship, him and I. We met, and I moved in a week later. And then 4.5 years after that, we had 4 daughters. So we like to move fast. And we were lucky to get 6 grandbabies before he passed away. And he got to know all of them, but she cherished greatly. And I'm glad that we got to spend some of that time together. I think that's part of the paintings as well. I want him to be remembered by his grandbabies, and I want to remember him. That's really the main reason. I don't want to forget him. He's part of me. And I just want to keep that energy around. We had I was lucky to have him. We were lucky to have each other. Sorry. So, like I said, I plan on painting every day. It's a series of things I'm trying to do just to move forward. I'm trying to figure out some things. During my husband's illness, the place I worked closed. So I lost my husband and my job. And it's not that I still can't do that, because I've taught art. But it's not as convenient when you don't have a studio that sets it all up, and you have a place to do it. And I have a few places I could do where I could give classes and stuff, but not as easy as it was there, all set up. And I don't know that that's where I want to go now. I almost feel like, I've learned what I could from teaching. And I truly feel like I learned a lot from teaching. It wasn't something I even planned to do. I sort of, it found me, and we seemed to fit for a while. And I got a lot out of it, and I learned probably more from my students than they learned from me. But I hope I helped people, and I think I did. It was amazing to see the transformation of some of the people I worked for, that I worked with, and just what it meant to them to go from, they wanted to be able to paint, and just never painting at all, having absolutely no experience whatsoever, and within depending on the person, anyway, they taking the time and putting the hours in, they became artists, right? And of course, some people are going to find an easier time doing that than other people. But what it really comes down to is time. It's what you want to do. It's what you love. So if you love creating things and love painting, you can make it happen. You got to invest those hours, man. You got to put them in and make them happen. And I'm not saying there aren't some people that it comes a little bit more natural to. But those people have to put in those hours too. It's not, and I'm sure, I know I am always trying to be better. I am never satisfied where I am. I always want to. Every single picture I feel is a stepping stone to the next level. And it is not a straight line. And I don't want it to be a straight line. And one of the things that you can do is just start playing around with it and having, working with stuff. I think I mentioned in the last video, I mean, you could even do something, if you don't want to invest in anything, you can, there's all kinds of ways you can start, creating and using things. People use all kinds of different stuff, from coffee, you can paint with coffee, to, you can use anything. And just start making it happen, taking those steps. It's the drive, though. You have to have the passion and put the time in. In fact, a good practice is to sort of do what I'm doing, but you don't have to do it on camera, right? Just get yourself your private sketchbook that you don't have to show anybody, and have a pen, have a pencil, have a crayon, have whatever, and just start experimenting on these pages, and don't have to show anybody. Scribble, just start moving lines around the page. You can attempt to draw something. No one has to see it, right? But I advise you not to get rid of it right away. You could do the thing where you do it and burn it, but if you sit there and keep it and you don't show anybody, right, just let yourself be free. And then you just, when you're done, I bet if you look at the beginning of your book and to the end, you'll be amazed in the transformation that you've made just by doing that, like putting in, even if you did 5 minutes a day. And that's what I'm sort of doing these paintings. I'd say I'll do 5 minutes a day. But I've been averaging about a half an hour a day doing the painting. Where I'm, doing these impromptu little pictures here. And I could put a lot more time into that, but if I say, hey, 5 minutes, and that's all I do, then that's cool. It's just about making a routine. When my husband passed, one of the things I made sure I did is Tai Chi every morning. And I didn't do it right away, right? Actually, my husband and I used to do Tai Chi every morning, which towards the end of his illness, that just did not happen anymore. I would still do it sometimes, but he wasn't. And it was definitely not every morning. And in fact, at the end, if I did it, I started doing it a lot more towards the end when he was hospicing at home. Just to calm myself. And it was just that moment that I took for myself to go do Tai Chi. And I go stand in the sun, and I just soak it in, and I would do Tai Chi. And I would come back, and I would be like ready to go and help him. Now at the very end, I did Tai Chi sometimes just inside, because I was worried about leaving him at all. But the day before he passed, I went outside to get my laundry, because I hang it on a line. It's just who I am. Again, bring me out in the sunshine. And I went, and I just felt compelled, like the sun was calling me. And I did Tai Chi. And it was, it was a beautiful session of it. It just really calmed me, and which was hard with that. Felt like I was running around like a maniac, but I was keeping myself busy. if not caring for him, then I was, whatever, painting the bathroom, the one right next to the bedroom, so that I could be within earshot of him. I was just trying to keep myself busy. And, but that day before he passed, I did Tai Chi out in the sun again, and it was healing. And I went inside that night, in the middle of the night, well, it was really the next morning, before the sun even came up, he passed away. And I was grateful that I had that. It was, I don't know, it was like bonding with the universe or something. It was very healing. So another thing I started was journaling. Actually, in the last months before he passed, I started, and I used to it years ago, and I didn't. I don't know. I just got out of the habit, and I was more of a write something down and burn it sort of thing. But I started doing these journals just to sort of help me process all the decisions I had to make and stuff that I was dealing with, and it did. It did help me. And I'm still working on the journaling. That I'm still not. I haven't been doing as good every day, but some days better than others. But it's a discipline thing. All those things, doing them every day. Doing the Tai Chi, doing the painting, doing those things. But it's a work in progress, and I'm doing what I can to move forward. And I've, been spending my time taking care of the man that I love and watching him die. And then he actually did. And during that time, my mother at the same time was in the beginning stages of dementia. And when he went in the hospital, she went in the hospital 2 weeks later. And then she died 2 months after he did. So it's so much a part of you. But at the same time, you have to function. You have to. But I feel like it's something profound, or it's profoundly changed me. Let's just put it that way. And I don't want this profound change. I want it to turn into something positive. I want to grow from it. I just want to be a better me. Whatever that means. But I'm one step at a time, And I'll see where it leads. So, I'll do my Tai Chi in the morning. I'll write in my journal. And I'll paint every day. And I'll do all the other stuff that you have to do to maintain your life. And I'll move forward. But I love doing these paintings. They just, to me, capture the energy of my husband and I. And that's sometimes, to me, is easier captured in the painting than it is in words. We used to hang out every night. When I would leave work, first thing I did was drive home to him. And he would do the same thing. It was just, our goal was always to get back to each other, to see each other. It takes you over, man. You just, I know there's a lot of people that have gone through worse than me. But I can only control me. So I wish these, I gotta figure out the lighting on this thing. I don't, it could be my camera, right? Which, I'm not, if that's all it is, I'm just gonna let it go for now because this is what I have. But it really washes out the pictures when I'm painting like this and I'm filming. I'll see if I can mess around with that. I put all the videos together, and when I do that, I'll do a snapshot of the finished painting at the end, and you'll be able to see that. And I'll do that in a sped up version of the 2 sessions, and then I'll do in a short, so it'll be like a minute and a half, you know. So if you want to wait and just watch the minute and a half one, that's groovy too. But they say talking on this thing is supposed to get easier. I don't know about that. My mind wanders too much, and then I forget what I'm talking about. I could be easily distracted. Because I'm sitting here talking, but then I'm looking at the painting in front of me, and I'm, thinking about other paintings and other stuff at the same time. As you can see, these cats are immensely helpful. They really like to add their own little touch to the artwork. I love having them around. If I didn't, I wouldn't have them wandering around. Because I work with acrylic paint, it dries really fast. And I don't do, it's not all goopy on this. There are times if I was doing, but particularly on the paper, it dries so fast, I can't even, it's not a problem. And the great thing about painting, so easy to fix if I did mess up something. It's, easy peasy to, correct it. Just paint over it. That's the beauty of it. And to remember, back to if you want to paint, it's not about it being perfect. It's about bringing your vision out into it. We have cameras to take for that. And don't get me wrong, believe me, there's a difference. Like, people taking pictures. I'm not saying that, some people take better pictures than other people, okay, for sure. But what I'm just saying is cameras can take these precise images of what's in front of you, right? Your painting doesn't have to do that. Your painting, it shows the things that you can't see with a camera. It shows the energy and the love and the feeling and it can even be the music. It's whatever, it's the whole thing. All wrapped up in an image. That's why I love painting. And it's all said without words. I say as I jabber on. But I hope someone out there enjoys, watching this. And if not, I got it for me, so that works too. That was my dog shaking her head, beating her ears against the table. She's very large. She's about 145 pounds the last time she was weighed. So I'm assuming she's still about that. She's pretty good with the kittens, though. She likes to sleep by my side. She's my little personal guard dog. I got her from a horse farm in Texas. She's not the first dog we got in Texas. We got an English Mastiff when we were in Texas for our daughter. He's passed away now, but he was a good dog. His name was Darwin. There's actually a painting in the Wendy's painting section of Darwin when he was a puppy. He was just a good boy. He was a big boy too. We had to bury him, and that was I can't even. That was a challenge. They dig a very huge hole, and even carrying him outside. My daughter and I are doing it, and carried him out in a blanket, and of course we're bawling the whole time. Because he was a good boy. He was a very good boy. All of our family, we love animals. Some more than others. I do have one daughter that doesn't want to have dogs. She's just a cat person. And she's a minimalist in the cat person way. But I have to say the other three are a little bit more like their mother and their dad. Sometimes my husband could be a little bit more conservative, but he was just as bad for the most part. He loved his animals. They brought us a lot of happiness all the time. So I'm almost done here with the painting. Getting close to the end. And there's number 7 inspecting things. Watching the final process. I'm getting ready to splatter a little white with a toothbrush. I got a little water, mix it in with the, or then just sort of sprinkle it around to give a little sparkle in there. And that, whenever you do splatter, there's always the risk that you'll fuck it up.